Well, Yves-Francois Blanchet has certainly wasted no time in taking advantage of the weakness of the Trudeau Liberal government. The Bloc leader has basically said, there's an opportunity here to be had for Quebec, and he plans on taking full advantage of that. And of course, Trudeau is all too happy to comply and give him whatever demands I'm sure that he wants in order to stay in power for as long as possible. And it looks like the Bloc will be voting with the Liberals to make sure that they do stay in power, despite the fact that the Conservatives are wanting to put forward a vote of non-confidence. And it sounds like, Mr. Singh, who, has propped him up for the last how many years, is going to continue to prop him up as well. Heaven forbid he should get left behind and the Bloc should outshine him. So, but I want to bring up a couple of things today because it's fascinating to me. Trudeau has just appointed Mark Carney as the economic development strategy, economic advisor to the Liberal Party, not to the government, but to the Liberal Party. Now, he's trying to circumvent conflict of interest rules, but I'm going to park that for a moment here. Cronyism is alive and well. Let's, make sure our friends and family and close allies are being compensated justly. You wouldn't want anybody in the government to get left behind, forgive the sarcasm. You're going to note a little bit of that in this podcast today. So, couple of things going back to Mark Carney here. He's the new economic growth advisor for the Liberal Party. Obviously, he's whispering little things into Trudeau's ears as to what he can and could be doing. And one of the things, obviously, that he's whispered into his ear is the fact that, and Globe and Mail was the one to report this, as well as I think the National Post has kind of said a few things on this as well. But the Globe and Mail reported on Brookfield. Now, Brookfield is a large investment firm, privately owned, right? Privately managed, and Carney is the chair. Yeah, no conflict here. Interestingly, Mark Carney and Brookfield are actually soliciting the federal government right now for $50 billion so that they can put together an investment package of Canadian holdings. Okay, and they want the government, and not only the government to pay for this, they want your pension money to pay for this. Okay, so everybody kept talking about how secure the Canada Pension Plan was and how independently run it was. Well, now we have government going after your pension dollars yet again. So Brookfield is soliciting $50 million from the government. Billion with a B, not MB, billion. 10 billion of it they want from the federal government, and 36 billion they're proposing to come from Canada pension plans. There you have it. And they're going to put in 4 billion of their own money. Oh, how nice of them, eh? Private company. So the National Post, I love the comment that they said here, is because, Carney is taking on a new job at the right hand of the Prime Minister, which he is, at the precise moment that he oversees a company seeking to secure one of the largest contributions of federal cash in the country's history. Now, I'm going to tie this in here with another little crony act, but this one benefits Blanchet and Quebec, and I'm sure as Trudeau made this announcement, according to the news, he was gushing. Trudeau's government economic development strategy brought into question 3 news stories breaking throughout the week. The federal government, the Quebec media has heralded that the federal government $2.14 billion package to Telesat. Now, most of the English-speaking part of Canada is going, why? I haven't heard anything about this. Because it hasn't really been in the news much, has it? For many of you, I'm sure you're hearing this for the first time. But $2.14 billion to Telesat. Now, who are they? They're a Montreal-based company that is looking for loans, grants, $2.14 billion from the federal government. What do? They are a manufacturer that produce low Earth orbit broadband satellite constellation project that will deliver high-speed internet to remote Canadian consumers. Now, let's break this down. Quebec company, private company, getting $2.14 billion to do this. Put into orbit low Earth orbit satellites to provide high-speed internet to remote Canadian consumers. Now, because this sounds really familiar to me, because I'm sure there's another company out there that does this. Geez, let's think about that for a moment. Oh, yes, right. Elon Musk has this small company called Starlink that already services about 400,000 Canadians and provides, satellites, low Earth orbit satellites that provide high-speed internet to rural communities and, hard to reach areas. I happen to have the system, was probably one of the first people to own it, years ago, and works wonderfully. Never had an issue. He actually commented on X that Starlink could probably do this for about half of what the multi-billion-dollar price tag is for Telesat. And they're already there. They already have the licenses. They've already got the track record. The satellites are already in orbit. And I want to point out, because obviously Blanchet thinks whatever he can get for Quebec out of his new unholy alliance with Trudeau is good for him, and Quebec will probably agree. That's fine, but the part I find really interesting here, bringing Mark Carney back into the hold, is that Carney also happens to have close personal ties to the CEO, Dan Goldberg. So Mr. Marty, Mr. Carney, Mr. Carney is busy at work making sure his friends get fat and happy off of the federal government and his economic advice to Mr. Trudeau and the Liberal Party themselves. Thought I would share that with everybody. Thought you might find that rather interesting. I have posted a number of warnings about Mark Carney. Can't be trusted, in my opinion. He's certainly a globalist and not working, I think, in the best interests of Canadians. Neither is Trudeau. Obviously, if you're going to spend twice the amount of money to provide a service that could easily be provided by another company already there just to buy votes in Quebec and buy alliances in Parliament, obviously there's some issues. Not shocking to anybody, especially listening to this channel, but there you have it, folks. Little bit of news for the day. Hope you guys are doing well. I want to hear your comments. Guys, tell me what it is that you like about these videos, what you dislike about these videos. If there's something that is of particular interest to you, please do share, let me know, leave it in the comment section. Until next time.